Today I'm going to be working on rebuilding some manual advance units. I have a friend's motorcycle that I'm not 100% sure. I've got a theory that maybe the advance isn't right. I came across this brace of mechanical advance units on eBay, and the price was right, and I figured why not? So I'm just going to clean them up, take them apart, see what the best components are, and try and swap it into the friend's bike to see if it works. I'm not 100% sure, but I have a theory about one of the motorcycles I've been working on that the mechanical advance unit might be sticking. So I got onto eBay and I found somebody that was selling a trio of them for a price that was very reasonable. Now these are all used, so I decided that I'm going to strip them down completely and clean them. I've done a little bit of cleaning already. I just gave them a spray down with some kerosene, but I am going to break them down into their individual components so I can make sure they're greased, look for the best ones. This one, for instance, you can see has some pitting on the cam lobe. So I don't think that's going to be the best option for the cam lobe. But I'm going to show you how to take these things apart and put them back together. Before we get started, I just want to explain a little bit about what this mechanism is and what it does for those who are uninitiated. This is on the end of sits on the end of the camshaft, and it sits with the points plate, the timing plate. And as the camshaft spins, the lobe opens the points, and that tells the spark plugs when to fire. Now, when the motor is spinning faster, you want the spark to fire earlier before it gets to top dead center. To do that, you want this cam lobe to rotate a bit. And the way that's done is with this mechanism. Now, as you're accelerating and bringing up the RPMs, this is spinning faster and faster. As it spins faster and faster, the centrifugal force pulls these weights outside, and that in turn rotates the cam further in advance. If this is sticking or not working at all, it's not going to run right. So that's why I'm tearing these apart, partially to show you, but partially to pick the best one and then see if that actually fixes the weird problem I'm having on the bike. Taking these apart is relatively straightforward. You need to unhook these springs and unhook this clip, little E-clip that's on the end of these shafts. So I'm going to do that now. So there you can see a little E-clip. And then there's a little washer that's on there. Right there. Oh, there's actually, looks like there might be 3 of them in there. Clean that up and check that out. Now I'm going to get this clip. Now, for whatever reason, there were 3 shims or spacers on one side. It looks like just 2 on the other. So I'm going to keep those in the order that they're at. The 2 were on the side with the part number, and the 3 were opposite of it. Now, with those off, you should just slide off their posts. goes. Not all that extra room for those springs. Okay. Anyway, that's what it looks like when that's stripped apart. Now, there's a little nub in there that rides right there. I'll also note that on the back side of these, each of these, there was another thicker washer, thicker spacer. And there was another thin stack of shims along the back here. I think it looks like 2, but I won't know till I get them all the way off there, but I wanted to show it to you before digging them out. So as you can see, it was indeed 2 thin spacers that were on the back there. Now, the other thing I'll point out, there's usually some sort of indication of which way this goes back on. Because if you put it on the wrong way, it's possible to put it in 180 degrees out. But on this one, and I know just because I studied these a little bit, there is a hash mark at the end of this, and that corresponds to this notch out of the side of the back plate. So I want to make sure that line is at the notch when it comes time to put this thing back together. So that's one broken down. I'm going to clean that up, set those aside, and then break down the next one. So disassembling the second one of these, the method I've figured out to remove the springs from the post for me that's working is to get a pick like this, work it into the groove. Sure, the other one just came off now. This one's going to give me a hard time, isn't it? Okay, so I've got the second one torn apart. The first one's all cleaned up, just to give you a little bit of a side-by-side comparison, how they look. You can see that this one has some scoring from the cam as it rotated around. This one doesn't look too bad. It's got a little bit of wear there as well. There's almost no wear in the middle because there's sort of a hollow inside the shaft that goes over this for grease. This second one was, the springs were definitely more worn out. They popped off the posts easier, and the hook end seemed like it had opened up a little bit. Whereas on the first set, the hook end doesn't even want to come off the weight. Here's another before and after comparison, with this being the clean one, obviously. Even that this one's the one that had the corrosion on the lobe, but that corrosion actually, I can't feel anything with my thumbnail, and I think this piece would still be fine. We'll see what this one looks like once I clean it up. The other thing I'm going to point out that I didn't really notice before is that the little counterweights, they have a very thin, appears to be plastic, and that's what rides against this face. Seems like plastic would burn up, but so it might not be what it is, but it's definitely something black and thin that's applied on there. I don't know how well you can see that. All 3 of those are cleaned up now, and I was kind of surprised that the cam lobe on this one, which I thought was going to be the worst because it looked like it had some corrosion, actually seems to have the most consistent surface. Since that whatever those dark marks are cleaned off and I can't feel anything with my thumbnail, I think I'm going to use that one. All of the other ones show a little bit more consistent wear. I mentioned the plastic liner on those things. This one, the plastic lining fell off while I was cleaning it. Another thing to note, I mentioned that this first one only had 2 shims or spacers. Everything else had 3, except that one, which had 4. So I'm not sure, why that level of precision is needed for these weights. but I'm probably going to keep them with their base plates as I decide which ones to use. Try to show you this. You can see there's a bit of a recess around the middle on the inside of this. That's to hold some grease so that while it sits on here, it's got a little bit of extra. So even though this one had some of those marks on it, it all feels like it turns really well. And once I get a little bit of grease on there as well, I think it should be good. There it is, cleaned up and back together. I can hardly turn it because my fingers are slippery, but there we go. There they are, all reassembled. I did label them best 2 and 3, just so I don't mix them up, because from the outside they all look pretty similar. But this is the one I want to try out and see if it makes any difference for how that bike works. On to the next thing. As always, thanks for watching.